Trash Talk, we actually vet our sponsors. We don't just take their money and run like a Butterbar lieutenant lost on a land nav course. Are you finally ready to plant your flag and claim your territory? Maybe it's time to use that VA loan to buy a home. Or hell, maybe you're looking to refinance and put some extra cash in your pocket for more questionable life decisions. Either way, the Veterans Mortgage Source, powered by Canopy Mortgage, has your six. Look, buying a home or refinancing can feel like getting overrun on a bad op. Chaotic, confusing, and full of obstacles that make no damn sense. That's where Corey and his team come in. They're like the QRF of home loans, ready to pull you out of the chaos and guide you to the best program for you. And trust me, they'll answer all your questions. Yeah, even the dumb ones. Whether you're a salty vet or fresh out of barracks still trying to figure out where your TA-50 went. Great service, solid rates, and a team that actually understands the military life. That's why all of us here at Veteran Trash Talk trust them to do right by every veteran and their family. Ready to lock it in? Give Corey a call or shoot him a text at 808-699-7874. That's 808-699-7874. Don't wait. Unless you like overpaying and getting treated like an FNG. The Veterans Mortgage Source is powered by Canopy Mortgage, LLC. All loans are subject to credit and property approval.
Hey, what's up, Mental Health Nation? Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. I am so sorry, everybody. So, as you know, let me get my lights fixed here. Hey there, now you can see me. In Missouri, and I was been out fishing all day with my buddy Mike. And I get back, and I go, man, I am all set. Things are good to go. And Chris was blowing up my phone, and I just didn't realize that I am an hour behind Eastern time. I'm in Central time, not Eastern time. Totally slipped my mind. Chris, thanks for delaying dinner. Go ahead and start the podcast. This is totally my fault. But I had a great time fishing with Mike, and it was kind of worth it. And I'll make it up to Chris somehow. But hey, listen, I'm going to jump right into it. I got a lot of things to talk about. Short time to get there. I hope you enjoyed the all-day special I had with Veteran Trash Talk. If you did on Monday, you can go back and watch. What a great tradition! It's the fifth year doing it to help memorialize your friends and buddies who may no longer be here. And so I was super happy to be a part of that. It was a great show. So if you get a chance, go back and rewatch that. But with that, you have Reads Across America. You got the QR code up there in the upper left-hand corner. You can scan that code. It's really amazing with what they do during the holiday season and placing those wreaths upon the Veterans Memorial all throughout the United States. So you can scan that QR code for a little $10, $15, $20. You can also personalize one if you want to make it for a family member. But with that, Reads Across America Radio, yes, Reads Across America Radio, replays this podcast at Fridays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. I mean, it's really, really easy to find. I'm a little sunburned, windburned today. It's okay. It's totally worth it. Super easy to find. You just download the one and only Reads Across America Radio app now. And so they have their own Reads Across America Radio app. I downloaded it when I was in Italy. It worked just fine over there, so I know it'll work for you. And that way you'll never miss a show. You never miss podcasts, especially this one. And you can listen to it on the go. But it's also available on our radio app, the TuneIn app, and the Odyssey app. And that's easy to find. You just search for Reese Across America Radio, and you'll be able to find it. We talk about 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirit, and I have totally forgot to order. I'm going to order that today after the show. I got to get that shipped to Chris. Hey Brian, how you doing? Sorry for the late show. I'm sure you just realized that I thought I was starting on time. I was doing good. I didn't set up, and I'm like, all right, I'm doing great. And then I found out I was an hour behind. But hey, accidents happen. But 10th Mountain, give them a look. I'm going to get some cordial order and some other stuff. Hopefully, it has time to come in. Fingers crossed. I'm going to order it today. But hey, all my Italian friends love it, and if I don't go back with Italy with some of that, they'd be greatly disappointed. Chris just shared the website there, and then you can use the code VTT to save a little bit of money. But Veterans Mortgage, powered by Canopy Mortgage. We have a new Fed chair now. Yes, we have a new one. So I'm pretty sure coming down, and maybe when we refinance your house, we go before the. So hey, give a look-see, and they'll be more than happy to help you with that. Any questions you have with your home loan, or maybe you want to look at doing something different. But scan that QR code, give them a look-see. If you're still active duty and you may get stationed in Hawaii, Paradise, scan that QR code, and they'll be more than happy to help you find that dream home while you're stationed in Hawaii during your deployment there. And I tell you what, they're a great company. They did help out friends of mine last year. So I'm going to take a deep breath. Take a drink of water. So as you know, down here in Missouri now, I leave to go back to Virginia on Monday. And then next Monday, I fly on the 7th. Next Sunday, I fly back to Italy. So what have I been doing today, and why am I late? Yeah, I'm in late. International bootlegging. Shh. Aspetta. Don't you shoot. Keep it down. But hey, so every time I come to town, I'm very lucky to go out and fish with my buddy Mike Sutherland. We went to school together. We've hung out ever since. He's one of the closest friends that I have here in the States. But a little bit about Mike. He is a pro fisherman. He's won several fishing tournaments here in Missouri. And so we had the opportunity to go fishing today. And so literally we left at 5 o'clock this morning, been fishing all day. We caught a lot of bass. And, he actually has a sponsor. And his sponsor is Bat Cave Customs. Missouri, Bat Customs. And so we will use the Lewis fishing today. And I'm telling you what, we slayed the fish. Slayed them. We caught big bass, largemouth bass. So I don't have the photo show because obviously I was late. Maybe when I go back to a little video to show, or maybe I'll make tag Bat Cave Customs bait company there because they had some really cool baits. Say what? We caught a lot of fish. We caught on the water. We're at Tabor Rock Lake here in Missouri, very beautiful lake. We got on the water. Obviously, being a professional fan, knows where to go. And we hit our first spot, and he threw his rod in, and we were our first largemouth bass within 15 minutes of being on the water. We wind up fish. We didn't keep anything. Everything we caught. Audio spotty. Okay. Well, I hold my microphone on. If that's better. Chris, does my audio sound good? I'll put my microphone on. So hopefully that. Yeah. So Chris says they sound good. So we went to water. We were. It's pretty good. He's using a live scope. Now I've been out of the fishing game for a while. Especially since I moved to Italy, but this live scope, you really see the fish on the ground. It's pretty amazing. But we were talking about this, and with your mental health, be able to go out and hang out with friends is important. And so I'm asking Mike about the live scope and all this. And I was kind of curious, just because you see the fish and you know where the fish are, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to catch a fish or they're going to be biting. And so I asked him, and sometimes in tournaments, do they ban use? And he said, no, not really. Not the ones that he's been in. Maybe there's some out there that do. But so if you're a fisherman, you have a life skill on your boat and use it while you're fishing. Let me know how that goes. Let me know if it really is an advantage. I know we see the fish. Um, like the shad, we see the bait balls of the shad. We know the bass are around there, and we just start throwing in obviously different lures from uh, Bat Cave Customs. Bat Cave Customs, and next thing you know, they're just pounding it. Wham, wham. And so we went to a whole bunch of areas. I got some videos being out on the boat and stuff. Like I said, I'll make a video of that. But I say all because I don't know what to do differently. Okay, I don't know what to do differently. Audio it says just keep talking. Talk slow. I'm just all kind of ramped up today. Just for my mental health to go out on the water and to be, out in nature and hanging out with an old friend of mine. Um, was just let me check my settings real quick on my sound. Give me a second, everybody. I'm gonna check the settings of my sound real quick to make sure I did not make a mistake when let me see if this is better. Better or worse, Chris? I don't know. Anyway, so maybe that made it better. So he says it's fine. So yeah, so for my mental health, to go out and be with him and just enjoying the moment. It's better. Memorial Day is a very emotional day for them to remember, and so one of the things that you can do after Memorial Day week is just kind of get out and reset your life and start things that you enjoy and find something that you enjoy. And going out and fishing was a lot of fun. I don't know if I showed a picture. Maybe I'm not going to any pictures, but I really want a picture. Maybe I'll show a picture. I'll just show pictures next time. I'll show you guys this picture. I'll hold my camera. You can see there. There we go. Fast of the morning there. So there you go. There's proof that I was out fishing and caught bass, and it was a lot of fun. Uh, this was on the boat heading to where we were fishing at. I got a video and other stuff I can show, but uh, all right, this bigger one. You ready? And you can see the sunlight's out now. So the first one I showed you in the morning, and as you see the sun's out here, and the larger one that I caught. And holding it out from my body, it's close to my body, as you can see. And so we caught all of those. So it's a lot of fun just to be, right? And it's very seen. It's very enjoyable. To me, I've enjoyed my whole entire. My father is a very adamant fisher. You guys know that when I lived on the Chesapeake Bay, I fished a lot. I was on that water every single day. I lived across the street from the marina, and I would go across the street, get on my boat, and go out and go fish. So I put about 150 hours when I lived there. So it's a lot of fun. In Italy, haven't been fishing as much. I do have all the gear, so when we do travel, if it's possible, I do bring the gear with me. But we don't always have a chance to fish there. But you guys know, maybe you do know, don't know, but Lloyd is going to attend the Lago Patria International next year, coming out of the Dodea School, the Army School. Not the Army School, the Navy School. The school on base, Army bases here. It's the bases on Army, Navy, Marine, Air Force bases that they have for school for children when you're overseas. It's called Dodea. But we're pulling him out of that. We're putting him to an international school, Lago Patria, which means we're going to move to Lago Patria. So we have rented a villa. We're going to move 1 July. So we'll be living out on the Italian colony. But why do I say that? Because we're going to be exactly less than 1 mile from the beach. Super fun. Swimming pool. So I'll be doing the podcast maybe live from out the pool maybe in August once we get moved and settled into the new home. So I'm super excited about that. A lot of things going on. Did a couple of segments for speaking events. I'm so excited about that. This is normal the time of the year that people start booking me for events in September and October. And I'm going to announce this because I'm really excited about it. I started the business with Pep, Crew Dolce Vita, and I'll share their website real fast. Let me bring my chat up. Crew Dolce Vita is www. Crew DolceVita.com. This is on. Anyway, we booked our first, not our first tour, but our first tour with. So we got our first tour. So I'm super excited about that and the opportunity to have that go on. Unfortunately, I won't be there for that first cruise. Pepe will be doing it by himself, but that's totally okay. He can handle it. That's why we're equal partners. So, um, but if you get a chance, if you're coming to Italy, please look up Crew Dolce Vita. We'd be more than happy to take you for a tour around Naples, Italy, or anywhere around Italy proper. Or you can customize your own. You can customize your own tour if you like, and so that comes with whatever price you can do it. So you know what? I'm excited about that. It's really been a lot of work for me and Pepe to get that going and kind of spearhead it. He loves Napoli. He loves the city, and for me, I really take that personal because you guys know Pepe's story, and he's a dear friend. This is a dream to be a tribe, and he never thought he was going to be. And so I really wanted to try and help him to do that. Him out doing these tours that we do. He's a whole person, and he just something in my heart to be able to give that to him. Of course, I'm here at mom's house. I'm doing podcasts in her living room. She's sitting. I'm doing her dining room. She's sitting in the other room. There's my mom right there. She's 4 this year, and she's by herself. And she likes living by herself. Um, there's something to tell you guys, but I don't know if I want to tell you just yet. It's a quite funny story, and but wait until I'll save that for another day. But yeah, so I'm hearing the podcast. Mom's got the TV down, but okay. I have been, of course, I went to Greece over spring break, and I visited that my family 105 years ago. Extremely emotional for me to go there. Extremely emotional to see that house. Back here in Missouri, I have now started sharing those in Greece, and I'm giving each one of the family members, my brothers, sisters, my mom, my cousin, a rock that I took to Greece because some. And then Sunday, this is very emotional because the gravesite of my great great grandmother, Yaya. My Yaya is what we call for English. So I'm going to go visit my family tombs, and I'm going to glue the rocks to them because one thing my great grandmother always wanted to do was to take kids. She never had to do that. So I let her know that I found that house and that I was able to touch the door that she walked out of 105 years ago. And I'd say, man, Cliff, you're all over the board today. Brother, you're just, what's going on here? How are you going to help me out mental health with this? Well, it's because about it. I'm doing a lot of different things that bring joy and bring me happiness, and that's why I'm sharing them too. And to be able to share this, that I'm having with my family and going with the grave site on Sunday, but also just letting others know, both on the podcast and the show, that there's so in your life you can find give you joy, and it doesn't have to be something big, but if if you've not gone down the Bureau, do it. It's so easy nowadays. And hey, you know how easy it was. You know how easy it was. Of course, I've done genealogy with that. Uh, touched on that a lot of things about my AI helped me the best. I used artificial intelligence. I knew the name, obviously, of my parents, name of grandparents, knew the name of my great grandparent, and then yesterday I found out my great great grands, and now farther than that because you get back in the 16, 1700s. There's just no written records in Greece, but I entered all that into the 23andMe AI, and so I'm going to tell you there's some hints if you want to go back and look at your family genealogy because I think it's important. I think to know where you came from and kind of how you became you. I think it's important, and I would tell you that it's had a profound effect on my life, and I was very surprised by that. And so in AI said, "Hey, drunk." Um, I just started telling him, I want to learn my family heritage. So I started typing. My grandmother name was what I knew it at the time as Georgia Piper. It was Georgia Graham when she was married to my grandfather. And I just started in all the information and stories that we come from Tripoli, Greece, or I thought we did. And I just started going down the road. And then AI will come back and ask you questions. And as I was doing that, come to find out, we wasn't in. I don't know what to do about the internet. Chris, do we need to restart or is it all fine now? Big Earl just came on and said it was terrible. Um, it seems fine on my end. I'm not delaying or anything. I don't know. Yeah. Nothing we can do. Just roll with it. Okay. He says nothing to do. We're going to roll with it. Anyway, so if you use an AI to find your family history, it's very easy to do. And, through asking a series of questions, I was able to pinpoint, obviously, a lot of history about my family that I didn't know. Okay, Bear Grylls coming in now. So what's going on? You gonna come in and shade the show? Hmm. So anyway, take the chance. Use AI if you do any research on your family. But one thing I've been using AI for lately too is we've inherited certain things, pictures and family members. You may not know about it, and AI is very good about it. If you take a picture of an old painting. Uh, oh, the audio is coming in now. Okay, great. I thought you were coming on the show. Damn it. Anyway, use AI to scan your photos around your house and find out information about it. I did that the other day. And then last night, I was goofing around with AI because I goof around with AI a lot and ask him all kinds of stupid questions. We were going over my stock portfolio. I trade stocks a lot. And so we were doing that last night. And then I said, hey, AI, hey, Grunk, what do you know about me? Right? And so, if you think something's goofy's going on with you in the internet or whatever, ask AI. So I said, "Hey Grunk, who am I? You know, tell me what you know about Clifford Bauman or Bill Bauman." That's what I went back at school, and so of course he brought up everything I knew already, but I just thought that was fun. But I've also used AI to help me with my mental health. If I'm having a little anxiety about something or something bothering me, of course, I talked about ear kick. You can sit down with the panda and you know, on something else, and he'll give you an answer, and then you can answer follow up questions and go down the rabbit hole with it. And so, maybe you should look in, give it a shot. I was down at Tom's, a couple weeks ago, and his wife does a lot of selling things on eBay and stuff, and I was telling her that she'd use AI to help educate herself on things that she's buying, and it can be a big help. And also, when you're in the grocery store shopping for food, you have to scan. There's many things out there to um, drinking Chinese wine. I just caught that. To make sure things are more healthy and whatever. So it's just the little things you can do to make your life easier because, if you can reduce your stress level, then it can help your mental health, right? We all know that when things are chaotic, when things are going bad and things are messed up, it never happens when things are going good, right? Something bad happens. And like for Mike, he has when you put his trolling motor down, he has there's a cable that he pulls up to pull the trolling motor back out of the water. Sophisticated trolling motor that he has. Anyway, so the cable broke, but luckily we were by a boat dock, so we just poured in the random boat dock, and we were able to fix it. We got to continue fishing, but we didn't let it derail our day. Just something a little bit happy, set on the fly, and so we made it work. Now, when we went to use it again, we didn't have was able to pull it up properly. Okay, back up and went on our way. There's a little fix or something in your life. And so, what can we do, or what can we think about this week that we can do to maybe little things that fix life better? Let's think about that for a second. Okay, so what can clip on? I went fishing today. That really changed my mindset and really kind of reset my mental health. And I got to spend time with my family. That's so good. But what else can I do for myself? I don't have all those things. One thing I did the other day is, of course, hanging out with my mom. I got my son here. Sometimes you need a break, right? Sometimes you just need time to yourself. So I went down to the local bar, Big Whiskey, I think it is, restaurant, and I just sat at the bar and drink beers. They were very, very around, and I just went and had 2 beers and listened to the bartender, very nice lady, talk to the people. Of course, she talked to me, and then I found out she was a very happy, lucky person, and a very good. And I kind of heard her talking to, I guess it was her friend, and come to find out, she had just came back to work because I had questions, right? Because that's what the mental health warrior does. I got to ask follow-up questions. And I said, "Wow, you're just back to work. What happened? Something?" And come to find out, she was in an accident and broke her back, and then she got recovered from that, and then she was at work and slipped and broke her neck, and so she's now just started to recover from all that. And then my antennas go up, right? And total random conversation, and I say, positive attitude. I mean, you've had all these things happen to you, but yes, you're still in a very good mood and you're still happy to be at work. Why is that? What? How are you? I mean, how do you do that? She knows nothing about me. She doesn't know anything about mental health warrior. She knows nothing. Random in a bar, and you know what she said? She says, "Nope. It is what it is. I can either complain about it. I can either be miserable about it. I can either be depressed about it, or I can do what I chose to do, and I can choose to accept it. I can choose that this is my new normal, and I'm going to have limitations in my life, but I'm going to live as happily as I can with the limitations that are now set upon me because of these accidents that had nothing to do with anything that I did." And she says, "It's been hard for me because I'm a very active person. I like doing a lot of things, but now I know I need to slow down a little bit, and now I know I need to do things differently. But I'm not going to let this keep me from doing things that I love or that I want to do. Going to the best of my abilities I can have now with the injury she has." And I thought to myself, what a great attitude to have. What a great attitude to have. And we all should have more attitudes like that. Sometimes life doesn't deal you the hand that you think you should be dealt. And just like her, for 40 some odd years of her life, she was able to run around and do whatever she wanted to do and be as active as she wanted. And through no fault of hers, now her life changes. And like she said, I could just laid around and been depressed. I could have laid around and complained about it. I could have laid around and said, woe is me, all these other things, but she chose not to do that. And so if you're having issues and problems in your life that maybe has changed how you have the ability to do things or not things, what is your attitude going to be? And if your attitude is not self harm or self hurting yourself or putting yourself down or woe is me, think about that story. Think about this lady in small town Republic, Missouri, so happy to be back to work as a bartender because now she can be back at work. She's not healing from breaking her back or breaking her neck. Um, and she has that good positive attitude because I'm telling you right now, a good positive attitude really has a profound effect on you both physically and mentally. And we know that. Bruce Lee always said, never talk negative about yourself. And I agree with that. You know, your mental health and your mental state get you through about anything. And we know this, right? Service, when you are out doing PT or something was going on, have you ever in your mind talked yourself out of maybe running as fast as you could, or maybe not being able to do those extra push-ups when you knew you could, but your body was telling you that you were tired and you should quit, and you listened to that and you did, and then later on you realize, oh crap, I could have done more, and then you get upset with yourself? Or do you tell yourself in your mind, yeah, I can do more, I can push through this, I can make it through. Yeah, I know that my life's crappy now, I know that things aren't going right, but you know what? I know and I believe one day that they will turn around. You tell yourself that and you believe that. Because once you start believing it in your core, then it can become reality. I'm telling you, it can. I've been in some really crappy, horrible places in my life, just as a lot of you out there listening have, that I put in myself. I put myself in that situations because of my mind, because of my anxiety, because of, oh, the woe is me, or why did this happen, or yeah, I'm pretty active. And yes, I do a lot of things, but I still have limitations because the issues that go on my body because of my service, and I learned to work. But I'm thinking, how much time in my life did I waste my mind telling me I can do something? I know one in my life because I believed something that was reality, but I made it my reality, and that reality almost led to me not being here. And so I understand that. And so, I also understand now with this journey that I don't have to think that way and I don't have to go down that roads. And when life, anxiety, or other things happen and it starts taking me down that road, that I know where that road is going. I know to go in a different path. I know to change my direction, to change where I'm going now. And I would have known that a long time ago. I wish I would have had been. I'm a very smart guy. I wish I would have been smart enough to figure that out years ago. Because I think about all the BS and all the crap that went on in my life that I should have. Because I myself, my fault, nobody else's fault, chose to listen to my mind and let my mind take me down a rabbit hole that I had no business in going into that rabbit hole at all to begin with. But I did it. I can't change the past. I can learn from it, and I can say, hey, I no longer want to be that person. Hey, I'm no longer going to do that anymore. And I can do that. And I make those choices to do that. I last night I was up very late with my mom because, as you know, as your parents age, they become more children-like. And it was about midnight, 12:30, and I was getting ready to go to bed. And all of a sudden, she wanted to talk about Greece and my trip to Greece. And I didn't want to take that away from her because things just pop into her mind. So I was up until 1:30, I think a quarter to two, talking with her about Greece and family and other things before she ended it. And then she was ready to go to sleep. And then I went to bed. And then I was up at 5 a.m. to go fish Mike. And I knew I was going to be tired. I'm probably a little tired on the podcast today and maybe not making a whole lot of sense, which is why I was an hour late because, I was tired from not sleeping much, a couple of hours. And in my mind, I was doing great. I was going to start the podcast right on time. Chris had lots of things going on today. And Chris texts me and says, "Hey, what the hell's going on? Why aren't you on?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm right here." No, it's already 6 o'clock. Oh crap! I'm on Central Time. I'm not on Eastern Time, and that's why we started late. So, I could have lied and said, "Hey, we had trouble getting off the boat or whatever." No, I fess up to it. I'm a man. I'll take it. Yeah, it's my fault. I messed up. I got the time zone screwed up. But that's okay. I started an hour late, and I'm thankful for Chris for doing that. And so that's another thing you need to talk about is, yeah, you're right, Brian. Attitude and gratitude is, I'm going to wrap up here real quick because I gotta get dinner for my mom, and I know Chris has got to get dinner for his family. But this week, I want everybody to think about a couple of things. I want you to think about the story of the bartender here who's broke her back and who chose to not allow something she couldn't control her life, and she just made the choice to live her best life. And we all should do that. We all should make the choice to live our best lives, however that looks. It may not look the way you want it to look because things that happen to you while you're in service, but it can look as much as it can if you at least try. If you don't try, then why are you complaining about it, right? I don't have my can't be a triggered pansy shirt on, but if you're not trying, then don't be a triggered pansy about it. Just don't, because it's your fault. You're not trying. And there's no reason. Life's too short not to enjoy it and not to be thankful every single day that you woke up on this side of the grass, right? It's very easy and very simple to complain. It's harder to get off your butt, strap up your boots, and go forward and just do what you need to do. And I know starting the podcast stressed Chris out, and I apologize for that. But he did it anyway, and so I'm thankful for that because tomorrow I can't do the podcast. We thought about pushing it to tomorrow, but can't. And so, sometimes that happens. And so, as I wrap this up, so what do I want to do? So I'm going to recap real quick. One, find a buddy and go fishing. Best friend in the world is somebody with a boat, right? Because then you don't have to spend another $1,000 every time you do maintenance, right? That's what boat stands for. If you don't know, bring on another 1,000. So find a buddy with a boat and go fishing, right? If you want to find out about your family tree, your ancestry, use AI. AI helped me a lot, and you'll be surprised what AI will be able to do for you and how much you're going to find out about your family. Try it and see. Thirdly, think about the bartender story. Think about the lady who broke her back, who broke her neck, who chose to accept her new reality and not in a negative way. Because to me, that was a really story. And I thought about that a lot before I started the podcast. You know, we all should have that type of attitude, right? Because in the military, you have sustained some type of injury. You're not the same as you was when you joined. If you don't have the attitude of the bartender, let's have a little attitude like the bartender. And maybe go visit a bartender, but drink responsibly and never drink and drive. So, and the bar I went to is literally, I think it's a mile from my mom's house, less than a mile. So, but let's try that this week. And I guarantee you that next Wednesday when we talk, things will be better. In fact, next week when we talk, I'll be back. Yes. So then I will be an hour late because. So maybe I had to tell time. I'll practice time, right? But hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Just as I said on the beginning, you got Reach Across America. You can scan that QR code for as little as $10, $15. You can donate during the holiday season just for that the is placed on the United States. Along with that, Reach Across America has their own app now. So you download the Reach Across America radio app, and you can listen to my podcast, all the great music, and all the things they have. But it's also still available on the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, or the Odyssey app. In order to find Reach Across America Radio, you just search for Reach. We did share their website, 10th Mountain Whiskey and Spirits, so go ahead and click on that. Use the QR code to save you a little bit of money. I'm going to order mine right after I get off the show so I can get it shipped to Chris' house where I go back. Before the podcast started, he had Veterans Mortgage powered by Canopy Mortgage. You can scan that QR code to be more than happy to answer any questions you have with your mortgage, or maybe you want to look at refinancing, or maybe you haven't used your VA loan yet. So go ahead and do that. Hey, thanks, Brian. Thanks for tuning in. And along with PCS to Paradise, like I said, if you're still active duty and being stationed in Hawaii, scan that QR code and they will help you find that dream home while you're there. Hey, with that, everybody, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank you for jumping back on after I started an hour late because I'm a dumbass and can't tell time. But hey, and then also I want to give a shout out to Batcave Customs for the sponsor of Mike, but also for the cool lures we use today to catch all those great fish. We are brothers and sisters keepers out each other, and let's make sure our friends can tell time because somebody's make sure I can tell time. But hey, with that, have a great, wonderful week, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Take care.